I don't think that I've listened to the media probably ever. I'm not one to pay attention to news. I mean, I watch the news and I read the news, and I just don't believe anybody. I've been lied to so much online, so I just don't care. I, if I really care about something, I'm going to look into it and look into it and look into it and maybe draw a conclusion. I try not to draw conclusions, though. So I'm going to watch Brett Cooper talk about doing the opposite of what the media says. I like Brett Cooper a lot. She's probably my favorite at Daily Wire. I don't really like anybody at Daily Wire, though.
Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. So today,
Hello,
we
Brett
have
Cooper.
a lovely episode that is inspired by Vox, because yesterday, good old Vox, the publication, posted a tweet that made waves on social media for all the wrong reasons. But I mean, should we even be surprised at this point? Because their entire social media and marketing strategy is just to post the most outlandish pieces possible in order to get clicks. But sadly, I think that they do actually believe the things that they are publishing, which is just even worse. And we should care and we should pay attention, because this time,
I think that's what every media outlet does. They actually believe the things that they're posting. And they're all lies, so I don't know what's going on there, man.
it's about our health. Did you subscribe yet? You really should subscribe to this channel. And if you have already subscribed, you should then like this video and then ring the notification bell to never miss a comment section upload, because we upload twice a day. And I think our episodes are super fun, and I hope you do too. Okay, so the tweet and the article in question was this: Americans are obsessed with protein. They eat about 2 times as much of it as the federal government advises. Oh no. And 60% of US adults are trying to get even more of it in their diets. Oh no, Americans are trying to be healthier in the midst of an obesity crisis.
I call this turf and turf. It's a 16-ounce T-bone and a 24-ounce porterhouse. Also, whiskey and a cigar.
Excessive protein consumption could be making us sick. It is
That's the American way.
also wrecking the planet. How much protein should you actually eat per day? Find out here. And in less than 48 hours, it has almost 3 million impressions on Twitter alone. And again, like I said, for all the wrong reasons. My favorite comment was, "You guys are a bunch of soy boys." Literally, because they don't eat meat, apparently. They are literally just sitting around writing these articles eating tofu. The other top comments were perfect. One guy said, "As the federal government advises, the obesity epidemic should render anyone a laughingstock who
I tried tofu once. Tofu. And it tasted like tofu.
believes anything the government says about food." Obviously, because how has that worked out for us? How has following their health guidelines worked out for anyone? Consider that seriously. Another person said, "I remember when the
Yeah, if you look back through history, like the pyramid and trans fat, saturated fat, sugar industry, all those things. I'm not going to listen to what these people have to say.
federal government told us to eat 7 servings
I'm not going to listen to a doctor when it comes to my health either. I'm going to go to a nutritionist or talk to a nutritionist.
of bread a day." Oh yes, exactly. In order to keep your heart healthy. Heart healthy fiber. We did a whole episode about this, about how the federal government is lying to us about our health and food, obviously, and is not so secretly paid off by big food. It is such a good watch in conjunction with this episode. I pop off on it. It's one of my favorites that we've ever done, because it's our health, it's our bodies, and they're lying to us. Anyway, back to the article. Their argument against meat is twofold. Number one, Americans are eating too much protein, and protein is killing us. They say that Americans should be eating around 0.36 grams of protein per pound of weight, and they cite the National Academies of Science for this. But here's the kicker. According to the National Academies and the Institute of Medicine, this guideline is for the minimum amount of protein you should be eating in order to not fall into a deficit, which is outlined here in an article by Eating Well. The IOM's recommendations set the minimum amount of protein you need to eat in order to avoid falling short of this vital nutrient. Not getting enough protein could lead to progressive muscle loss and other health issues. Recent research suggests that aiming for more, for example, between 1.3 grams and 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, approximately 88 grams to 122 grams for women, 105 grams to 145 grams for men, may be optimal for health, especially when it comes to warding off age-related muscle loss, according to a 2019 review in Nutrients. Interesting how Vox did not discuss that. Also, women specifically, you probably should be eating a lot more protein than you are right now. Like, I did not realize how little protein I was eating every day until I started actually tracking it, and it is key for us.
Yeah, you need to be eating more meat, more game meat, preferably.
if we want to regulate our hormones and lose weight, gain muscle, etc. Like, women do not eat enough protein, do not listen to Vox. Community notes almost immediately jumped
Just don't listen to the media. If they're telling you you're eating too much meat, eat more meat, because you're not eating enough.
in with this banger, and they said the tweet is written to imply that one can have too much protein. Current research does not support this assertion, and the tweet greatly oversimplifies protein consumption research. Instead, research points towards eating protein sources that have a package of benefits, almost like whole foods, almost like animal byproducts. Crazy! The vegans won't like that. One commenter on Instagram, because they also posted this on Instagram, said, "This is irresponsible. You're going according to the RDA, which is a number that's the floor. RDAs are created as the absolute minimum to avoid disease. For example, the federal RDA of vitamin C is the absolute minimum you need to eat to avoid getting scurvy. Same for vitamin D and rickets. Posting this and allowing an aging population and an obese population to think that they don't need protein when it in fact is the #1 way to avoid bone density loss is not only irresponsible journalism, it is harmful. Rethink this."
Dude, I eat so much vitamin C that I piss orange sometimes, and I can smell it.
Yes, absolute mic drop. I also love that she brought in some other vitamins and nutrients in this comment, because obviously protein is far from the only thing that we are lacking in our modern diets, just like your dogs are probably lacking all of this in their modern diets. And that is why Rough Greens is so important to me. Rough Greens knows that dog food is dead food, and your dogs are not getting the proper nutrition they need every single day through their traditional makes my dog today to redeem that deal. At this rate, I really just need to do a whole episode about why dogs are getting sick and why they really need to be eating Rough Greens. So then,
Yeah, you need to stop getting them like pedigree and whatever you can get at Walmart. Really, preferably, you need to be feeding them like actual real meat.
why, according to Vox, are people getting so sick and having heart and cholesterol issues that they suddenly link to protein and meat? Could it have to do with the fact that our federal government, the government that they are so proudly citing, has been telling us that fiber is king and processed foods are better for us than animal products like...
Yeah, you go into anybody's house, any of my friends' houses, their fridge is going to be almost empty. They're going to have sodas in the fridge and some condiments. But you look up in the freezer, it's going to be like pizza rolls, egg rolls, French fries, fried chicken, wings, Then they're always complaining like, I don't know why my stomach hurts. I don't know why I'm always so sick.
like eggs and butter and meat for over 50 years?
I eat meat, butter, vegetables when I can. That's like all that I eat. Just plain Jane. A little bit of salt and pepper.
Take a look at our health. How has that worked out for us? Again, I ask you, for the entire episode, how has listening to them worked out for us?
You took my only food! Now I'm gonna starve!
Again, for more details on this, watch the episode in the description. There's a long history of them doing this. And guys, if all of this meat is causing heart issues, then why does every cancer research foundation and cardio organization publish pieces like this? Ultra-processed foods are breaking your heart. Then this one is from the World Cancer Research Fund. Ultra-processed foods linked to increased cancer risk, diabetes, and heart disease. This one cracked me up because it is from 2 months ago, and the first line once you get into the study is, "In a groundbreaking study." It was published in November of 2023. Yeah, groundbreaking to you, apparently. People with common sense have known this all along. It's the medical industrial complex that has been telling us not to cut carbs and not to focus on natural whole foods, and that actually Cheerios are great for heart health. Like, it's you guys that have been lying to us. Give me a break. Anyway, now that we have gone over...
Wait, are Cheerios not good for your heart? All that sugar isn't good for you? Are you kidding me? No, I knew that. I've always known that. I see, oh, it's good for your heart. And I'm like, no, this stuff tastes too sweet and too much like a cardboard box for it to actually be good for you. Turns out it's very not, and you should just eat vegetables and meat.
Over that, we can discuss Vox's second problem with protein: the impact on the planet. And they said excessive protein consumption is also wrecking the planet, with meat and dairy production accounting for upwards of 1/5 of greenhouse gas emissions. Are you bought and paid for by Bill Gates? Because it sure sounds like it. Just saying. Now, ironically, though, they did not touch on this at all in this article. But not to worry, they do have an entire series called Meatless, where they cover all of this in a 5-day e-course that you can buy. Yippee! I know everybody after this episode will be jumping for joy at the thought of joining Meatless through Vox.
I ate his liver with some fava beans. and a nice Chianti.
Again, how much did Bill Gates pay you to push this? Because we all know that he's been on this train for years. This one is from 2021. Bill Gates' rich nations should shift entirely to synthetic beef. And he claims, and his friends and the experts claim, that we have to do this for the health of the planet. But what about the fact that the energy it takes to create all of this processed crap food and the synthetic, plant-based fake meat is worse for the environment than raising cattle? In fact, grass-fed cattle actually helps reduce carbon emissions, but nobody really wants to talk about that. All the environmentalists, they don't want to say that because they've been promoting being a vegan for so long. So if they actually said
You have to stop eating meat so we can keep burning our deserts full of tires. And so we can keep... I don't even know what they do anymore. They made chemtrails illegal in some states. Not all of them, just 2 states. That makes me think that 48 states are doing chemtrails, and that's bad. What about all these private jets and the airplanes? What about the boats? I bet the boats have a lot of emissions. Those things are big. Those are bigger than planes. And they have to have fuel.
Grass-fed cattle is good for you, they'd have to roll back every other ethical standard that they have adopted. Wouldn't work out for them. This is from Oregon State University. A new study finds that grass-fed beef reduces carbon footprint. And this summary wrote that the National Trust, which is a conservation nonprofit in the United Kingdom, determined that grass-fed beef production had actually reduced greenhouse gas emissions when the carbon sequestration and storage of grassland pasture was considered. Another environmentalist wrote that when soil lacks important microbes and nutrients like carbon, it can actually contribute to desertification. And that is part of the reason why grass-fed animals are so vital to the planet. Grazing cattle keep...
Yeah, but they don't like grass-fed animals. They're because it contradicts their information. They like to talk about the corn-fed and the grain-fed animals because those are the ones that are doing all the carbon emissions. They're not going to talk about the grass-fed animals, the natural animals that have always been here. I mean, there's a lot more of them, I guess, but I'm sure something is going to counteract all of that. Whether it be kill us all or what, because I think we've gone too far for even if we wanted to make changes that we can't.
Soil healthy because microbes are basically...
We're just going to have to prepare. Start getting ourselves ready to live underground. Because either this planet's going to get too hot or, which I don't actually believe that, or we're going to have war on the surface. So, need to start digging.
Kind of hitching a ride in the ruminant's gut and through the animal and then returning the nutrients to the soil through waste. It keeps its moisture. When you don't have an animal poop fertilizer, you have to mine sources of nitrogen to take its place. And the problem is that we're rapidly running out of this resource and the artificial fertilizers aren't the answer. It's so ironic that we talk in circles about we're running out of this, we can't do this, we can't create more of this, it's going to kill the planet, when we literally can make it naturally with animals that exist on our planet. Like grass-fed cattle is one of the oldest and most natural things that we have ever done as a species. Eating beef is a tale as old as time. Cattle and other livestock like it play a vital role in protecting our soil and our other natural resources, not to mention they help our physical health.
You know what they say, Vegeta. When you fall off that horse, you get right back up and you eat that horse.
So why is the mainstream media and people
Bridge.
like Bill Gates so hell-bent on demonizing this practice and this source of food? Is it because it makes them money and keeps us sick and keeps us reliant upon their medicine and technology? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, don't listen to the media. They're going to lead you astray. They're going to lead you onto whatever path they want you to be on. They'll tell you that drinking water is unhealthy if they want you to not drink water.